Bike friend. He nodded, he did the special nod. Oh, this camera makes me fucking insane. So, another day, people. Heading down to Barnstorm or Alton, just because it seems to be a place that many people go, so I'm going to go check it out. So I'll tell you what's on the Miffed radar today. It's adverts. You know, TV adverts, they've just gone, I mean, they just annoy me in general, because they're so horrendously bad. And you know, I kind of understand that you've got a finite amount of time to get your message over, but the message is just bollocks. You know, the message is just wrong nowadays. So, you know, let's take a few examples. Right, let's start with car adverts. Now, do you remember when car adverts actually used to be informational? Do you remember when they actually used to tell you things about the cars? That doesn't happen anymore. Now, people get in a car, they drive around, and they sing. That's what happens. You know, the new Citroen DS advert, the special edition, there's two people, and they're driving around, and they're singing, because they're basically talking with a tune around them, and they're basically talking about, or singing about, the fact that they want to meet, but they'll probably never meet. And the whole point of the advert is to say that it's so limited, it's such a limited car, that you'll probably never see another one if you buy one. Well, that's great. But what do I get in this limited edition car? Does this advert tell me any of these things? No, not at all. Not one piece of information about the car, other than the fact that nobody else will have one because you're the only mug that bought one. That's really it. So that's one. Then you've got, I think, the Toyota Aventus. I think that's a new one where they've just got a bunch of people just driving around singing in the car. Singing badly, I might add, as well. You know, it's one thing to enforce, you know, singing on me during an advert. It's a completely another thing to force bad singing on me. You know, it's like, what the fuck? So, you know, it just winds me up. And again, the Toyota advert is full of people singing, absolutely no information about the car whatsoever. All I know is in that car I can fit about 4 average sized people. As long as none of them can sing properly, and we can go from one place to another singing together. That's it. I have no idea, and I can do that in any car. I don't need a new car to do that. So that annoys me. And the other thing that winds me up is adverts that absolutely give you a message that actually is inherently wrong. So let's look at read.co.uk. You know, that fucking advert, right? So Reed. There's a guy who basically gets a bunch of people together who hate Mondays because they hate working, and you know, we've talked about work. I hate working as well. But basically they talk about how much they hate working and they hate their jobs, and he points at them and goes, you should be a beekeeper, you should be an industrial waste person, you know, you should be an architect. Like, oh yeah, I'd absolutely love to just jump into another career, but let's look at reality. Let's just say, for example, I'm a PA. If I'm a PA, I haven't got any skills around architecture. I can't just jump into an architecture job. I may not know anything about bees, so I can't just jump into a bee job. You know, what you need to do is go, right, okay, I would like to do this job. Now I've actually got to look into what it requires. Oh my God, it requires some qualifications. Okay, now I'm going to have to study for the next 2 years. And then I'm going to have to enter that job at a very low pay grade because I'm entering as a junior. So I've really got to think about, can I survive on that kind of money? Can I do X, Y, and you know, can I do all the things I need to do and take an apprentice style type job? Yeah, maybe I can't. So I'm just going to have to stick with the same old shit that I do now. Thanks a lot, Reed. Thanks for nothing. You know, and I think the whole singing thing all started with that fucking car advert where wasn't the car made out of, didn't they make a Skoda out of cake and then basically sung the song From the Hills Are Alive, you know, with the song from The Sound of Music, where it's like raindrops and roses and and bullshit on petals. These are the kind of things I love. That kind of thing. That's where it all stemmed from. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Skoda. You've just introduced a completely pointless way of advertising. What the fuck is going on here? I mean, could you have stopped anywhere better? They're all looking at the map, aren't they? They're all looking at the map thinking, where the fuck am I? How did I get here? Anyway, that's my little rant over for the day. Waitrose! The land of rich people food. God, it's expensive in Waitrose. But, it may be expensive in Waitrose, but it's a fucking brilliant place to be. You know, the staff happy. You know, they are. Sorry, I'm just a little bit fucking going. You know, the staff are happy. The till people are respectful. You know, it's a really nice place to go. Waitrose. Because you go to Sainsbury's. I mean, my local Sainsbury's. You know, there are people on the tills that speak in their own language. Like, you know, you've got like, you know, Indian people or whatever on the tills. And I've not got a problem with that. It don't bother me at all. You know, but what does bother me is when, you know, they sit there and they speak in their language at each other whilst I'm at the till. It's like, hold on, I'm here. Please don't talk over me. You know, don't talk across me, and definitely don't talk across me in a different language. Jesus, you know, I wish we'd do some shit on our roads. I mean, how much fucking road tax do people pay to get this kind of crappy roads that we have? You know, it's just not on. See, it's yet another little town full of Union Jacks. I mean, we should do this more often. We should fly the flag far more often. You know, if we at some point lose Scotland, I'll be sad to lose the Union Jack. It's such a great flag, and we just don't see enough of it. You know, and we should be proud. We should be totally proud of our country. For being so multicultural and accepting. Well, accepting, I use that term lightly. We're not probably. I think we're one of those countries that have become accepting about things that we don't really accept. And what I mean by that is, we accept all these cultures and you know, and foreigners from different countries and embed them into our culture, which really. You know, we don't have a single culture. You know, we are very multicultural, and we kind of do that, and we accept it, but in the kind of way that we say, well, we've got to put up with it. You know, it's like most people kind of go, you know, I have no problem with it, but there's lots of people that moan about it, and so I don't think it's fair to say that we are an accepting multicultural country. I think maybe a lot of us are and a lot of us aren't, but it's definitely, you know, I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be a multicultural country, and actually that in one of the only countries where it's really worked. But the bit where I draw the line is where I don't really like going into towns and feeling like I'm in another country. I mean, you can go into a certain part of Ealing and and you could be in India. You know, it is ridiculous. And I think everybody has to have their own community, but I don't think that community should be spread out into the wider public. I think, you know, we should have a community. You know, if we are going to be multicultural, then that community should be multicultural, not, you know, oh, we've got one little area here, well, that's where all the Indian people live, and we've got a Polish area here, so all the Polish shops are there. You know, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's accepting multiculturalism. I think that's just creating, you know, I don't know, ghettos of different cultures, and really, you know, the only place that it all comes together is in the big cities. You know, that I don't think that's the right way of dealing with it. But I do think we should be proud about our flag, and I think we should fly it more often.